What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Dynasty Coaches podcast. We got a full crew again today, so all three of us are going to be here with you guys. Got to get show not in the there's not a whole lot of news notes, but we will touch on a couple things, and then we got 5 new tweets that I've seen on Twitter. We're going to go over and talk about, and then I got 3 more trades for everybody.
Can't wait for that segment.
Hopefully they're better than last week's trades. So we will see.
That's not exactly a high bar to top.
Yeah, for sure. So they can't get much
worse. Charlie. I hope they're worse. Honestly, I hope they are worse trades.
It's fun. It's fun to crap on them, but at the same time, I like a fair even trade where I can actually give people some compliments. So.
This week I tried to maybe get one real bad one that I think is real bad, and then the other 2 were pretty decent in my mind. So let's go ahead and get right in it with the news and notes here. Ryan Fitzpatrick calls it a career. Pretty good for a 7th round pick in the NFL. I mean, he bounced around a bunch of teams, but he had a pretty good career. So and then the more important news is A.J. Brown says that he believes that the Eagles have 2 number 1 wideouts in him and Devonta Smith. Do you guys think that Jalen Hurts is going to be able to support 2 number 1 wide receivers?
No, quite frankly, because the Eagles have a good offensive line, so they've been able to provide quality protection to quarterbacks in the past. But I think just the system over in Philly and the way they kind of run things just doesn't support. It barely supports 1 good wide receiver, let alone 2. And with Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown being there, I don't think Jalen. And also, we got to remember they throw to the tight ends a lot. They love their tight ends. Dallas Goedert is going to get a lot of work, and that's also going to take away from A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. A.J. Brown's probably going to see the lion's share because there was a tweet saying, I think that was probably what you're referring to, meaning that Devonta Smith's going to feast on, number 2 cornerbacks. Mm-hmm. So A.J. Brown's going to get, a lot of the work. So he's probably going to be the 1 wide receiver that I think would see the most success. But again, it's not friendly for multiple targets.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of reminds me, and I know I reference Saints stuff. You guys are just going to have to deal with it. But the year I was super excited that we had Adrian Peterson, we had Ingram, we had Kamara, who at that point was kind of an unknown. We had all these people in the backfield and was like, sweet, we have so much talent. And then it ended up turning into an absolute shite show because AP wanted the ball all the time, didn't get the ball. Kamara was starting to emerge, and they wanted to give him more opportunity. Ingram was still there. You know what I mean? It's too much talent and not enough to go around. So I don't think that's going to be a recipe for him.
It's interesting because A.J. Brown's going to take the hit with this quarterback. I think Ryan Tannehill is a better passer than Jalen Hurts. But he's probably going to see a lot more single coverage. So, I mean, Tennessee, there really wasn't anybody there to take coverage off of him. Whereas in Philly, you got Goddard, you got Smith, even Miles Sanders and Boston Scott and them take quite a bit of passing game. But it'll be interesting. I think that Hurts can provide for 2 of the 3 in either Brown, Smith, or Goddard. So one of them, I believe, is going to have a bust type season. To tell you the truth, I couldn't tell you who right now. Like you said, he likes throwing to his tight ends in the red zone for sure.
Yeah, the bust is not going to be Goddard. It's going to be Smith or Brown. It's one of the receivers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it'll probably be one of those 2. But
I agree. It'll be either or, but it won't be both.
It's tough to tell who's the better wideout right now. I mean, A.J. Brown has been great, but Devonta Smith put up a very good rookie season last year. So, but we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, maybe Jalen Hurts makes that next step and becomes a decent passer. Who knows? So, let's go and move on to our tweets here. That's all for the news in the NFL. Like I said, it's a boring time in the NFL right now, so it's a little bit hard to find some stories there. But we're going to get started here. We're going to start with Justin Ross. He's an intriguing undrafted free agent right now. He was undrafted free agent pickup by the Kansas City Chiefs, and right now Kansas City doesn't have anybody. All right. I mean, Juju is their best receiver, but we all know Juju has his ups and downs. The tweet here is the 2018 Clemson team had T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, Amari Rogers, Travis Etienne, and Cornell Powell. This was the year that they won the national championship. But none of those guys led the team in receiving. It was the freshman Justin Ross. Now, he's going in the 4th round of Dynasty rookie drafts right now. But I believe that it's probably because of his injury history right now. He missed the 2020 season after being diagnosed with a congenital fusion in his spine. And then he suffered a stress fracture last year on November 13th. But like I said, man, he had the second highest college fantasy points per touch in this class. Do you guys think he's got a chance? I mean, there's 273 targets available from missing Tyreek Hill, Byron Pringle, and Darrell Williams. What do you think?
You summed it up pretty well, Meanie. It's just there's a lot of open, targets to go around after the departure of Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce's going to keep his and get his. We know that's not going to change. Juju will get a share, but again, with his injury history, we really don't know what he's going to do. We know they drafted Sky Moore in the 2nd round, so he's got the draft capital backing him up. But there's still plenty of targets to go around, and the rest of the receiver room for Kansas City is pretty uninspiring, with all the guys you mentioned. So I think there's a real opportunity here for Justin Ross to make the Chiefs roster and, step up and have a chance to make some plays. And, you couldn't ask for a better quarterback to throw him the ball to than Patrick Mahomes, with Justin Ross's game-breaking ability. As long as he can stay on the field and avoid injury, I think the sky's the limit for him. He has an opportunity to make a real impact in a high volume passing offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you're looking at it from a strictly factual standpoint, right, the really only consistent targets you have Moore and you have Kelce. That's realistically, that's it. Kelce's going to get his share, and then you look at your wide receivers. You have Moore, who you took in the 2nd, and then Juju's got an injury history. The other individuals named on that team don't really, they're not a whole lot there. So then you put Ross, but he also has an injury history. So, I definitely think you take a chance on him, and I think there's absolutely room for him to do something, especially with the targets that have been left open to him. It's his opportunity to lose. I think he can come in and easily put a show on.
Yeah, like I said, he put up the 2nd most college fantasy points per touch in college, and he did it on a good Clemson team. So they're facing good competition every year. I think that this could be a very sneaky pick. You're getting a guy that has – I think he's probably got number 1 potential. Not like number 1 in the league, but wide receiver number 1 potential. And it could be for a long time, because next year all they have for receivers on their roster is MVS, Justin Ross, and Sky Moore. Everybody else is gone. So you could be looking at a guy that is going to be on a very good offense with a very good quarterback for years to come. I think this is perfect type of player to take a chance on later that could pay off big time for you. So we're going to move on here. Can Jonathan Taylor repeat as the number 1 running back? Tweet is here. Jonathan Taylor led all running backs with 85 rushing attempts inside the 20-yard line. Who was second? How many attempts did he have? The answer is Austin Eckler. But Jonathan Taylor damn near doubled the attempts inside the 20-yard line. I mean, is this going to continue, or it's very hard to repeat the number one running back? The only two guys that have done it are Todd Gurley and LaDainian Tomlinson. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I love Jonathan Taylor, but there's a lot of different variables that go into account. There's a lot of things that we can't predict. I mean, there's always a reason that someone doesn't repeat at number one, whether it's just injury, someone else having a historic season. There's also a lot of other really good backs in the NFL these days. And, you have your Christian McCaffreys, you have your Austin Eckler's, you have your Dalvin Cooks. You have guys who are extremely talented, who could easily put together a really good season and take over that number one spot. And it's also just really tough for Jonathan Taylor to top what he did last year. I think there might be just some baked-in regression that's bound to happen. And also having, a better quarterback in Matt Ryan, who might be a little more inclined to throw the ball. Because I feel like the Colts ran the ball a lot last year to mask the deficiencies of Carson Wentz. And they're not going to have to do that as much with Matt Ryan, who's a much more competent thrower of the football.
Yeah, that was going to be my point, Charlie, was the fact that they were having to really run the ball because it was the only way they were going to get the ball moved at all. Well, it was to run it. So they leaned heavily, which obviously aided in Taylor's historic season. It was a great season and taking nothing away from Taylor and what he accomplished, but repeating it, no. And like Charlie said, there's a billion different factors and things that'll go into a season, whether it's injuries, whether it's other players stepping up, whether it's Derrick Henry seeing Jonathan Taylor take his crown and say the hell to the no and taking it back. There's just so much that goes into it. But the biggest thing for me and why I don't think he will is because of the presence of Matt Ryan. I think that they're going to finally have an efficient way of moving the ball downfield that doesn't require Taylor to be the workhorse he was last year.
Does Matt Ryan, not only does Matt Ryan being there hurt him because they're going to be passing more, but does that he's hurt him even more because does Nyheim Hines now step in more as that passing down's back? I mean, we've seen it a couple times already where Nyheim Hines has been extremely relevant in fantasy. Do you think that it can be like a Devonta Freeman, Tevin Coleman a couple years ago in Atlanta, where they were both very fantasy relevant?
I mean, the potential for it is certainly there. I believe I know they interviewed a member out of the Colts front office or one of their coaches, and the advice was to make sure you have Nyheim Hines rostered on your fantasy teams this coming year. And that obviously signals to me that they're planning on getting him involved in the passing game more, whether that's lining him up as a receiver, just stuff out of the backfield. Maybe a little more of an increased role than he's had in the past because of the change at QB. So that's probably going to take away a little more from Jonathan Taylor than it would last year, where there was a lot of ground and pound because Carson Wentz was absolutely ass. So I think that's, again, that's part of that baked-in regression I was mentioning earlier. A new system, a new quarterback, changing schemes that are going to benefit one player over another. So it's going to hurt Jonathan Taylor a little bit. And he's still an incredibly talented running back. He's going to get his no matter what. But he's just not going to repeat the type of season he had last year, which I went over earlier.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of envisioned that Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, when they were first together, that pairing out of the backfield for them, where they will both succeed, but it will not be where one of them is on the field 90% of the time. It'll be both of them. It'll be situational, and Matt Ryan will get that ball to his running back that can catch that ball out of the backfield. So,
are you guys still taking Jonathan Taylor 1 overall?
I wouldn't.
All right, let me ask you this, Nick. Who would be your 101 at running back for Dynasty?
I think it has to be.
I still think it has to be Taylor. There's not a lot of guys that would take over him.
I think you're looking at Taylor, Swift.
Swift. I don't trust the Lions at all.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love Najee. I love what he did. I love the prospect that team's gonna do. It all kind of hinders on what what the young quarterback does. So that is a big factor. But Najee's shown that he can take a quarterback and still have a good season. I love my vets. I love Henry, but I'm not taking him for long-term dynasty. So if I'm drafting a player 101, I mean 1A, 1B, Taylor, Najee for me. I mean, I think Taylor's still your bow cow, but because he's had good seasons, but he had a great season, the best season one time. I don't know. I have a lot of prove it type of mentality when it comes to running backs.
I also think that, I also think lending credence to your point is the fact that Pittsburgh does have a rookie at QB, which means that for offense, they may want to lean on Najee Harris a little more, which in the short term does give him a little more value over Taylor if people want to take that into consideration as well. So I can absolutely understand that mindset.
Jonathan Taylor is so good, though, man. I mean, he was way better than any running back last year by far. I mean, even with Najee, Jonathan Taylor destroyed.
But we talked about that. It's the situation they were in. I understand Najee was in a very similar-ish situation, but I mean, they had no other choice to move the ball except to give it to Taylor. I mean, for God's sakes, you might as well have had Taylor throw the ball too. It couldn't have been any worse.
Yeah. No, we're not disputing that Jonathan Taylor isn't an RB1. That's a certified fact. He's a top 5 running back for sure. It's just going to be, it's just going to be tough for him to repeat at one. Extenuating circumstances, new quarterback, a lot of different things going on. There's a reason it's rare for running backs to repeat. Last person to do it was LT. So
correct. So if you're asking me the question of who am I taking number 1 overall this year, based on all the circumstances of this upcoming season, I'll take Najee.
All right, respectable. I mean, it's close, but I don't know, man. It's hard to not go with JT in my eyes. So it's close though. I can see Najee getting a lot of work. I mean, it's hard. So we'll go and move on here. Speaking of Najee, there's been reports that he now weighs 244 pounds. He was 230 last year, 244 this year. Is the weight gain good or is the weight gain bad? Do you think? What do you guys think? I mean, last person that was the big debate with the weight gain was Eddie Lacy in 2016, and we all know what happened that year. He kind of fell off the map. What do you guys think?
Well, let's hope this isn't Hamburger Harris. That would be unfortunate because we saw Najee Harris produce for fantasy owners last year, even in a horrible Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And I mean, I guess if it was muscle, it wouldn't be as bad. But he's already a big power back, and having too much is not a good thing. I mean, we saw what happened with Eddie Lacy. That you're slow. It's easier for defenders to catch up to you. It just hinders your production overall. Obviously, it remains to be seen how he does at practice, how he does, in the preseason and things like that. But it's not a good sign to see a player bulk up too much. Unless you're offensive or defensive lineman, there's no reason for you to be, extremely heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if maybe he knew what was coming and decided to put on a little extra cushion before the multitude of work that's coming to him. But I don't know. For me, 15 pounds. I mean, it's 14, but 15 pounds, that's nothing. You can lose that in 3-4 days. So this ends up not being a good idea, right? If he gets to practice and finds out that it's way too sluggish, way too much to move around, he's not as smooth, not as quick, not as whatever. 15 pounds, that's a cakewalk. You can sweat that off in a couple sauna trips. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like you said, Charlie, if he knows a big workload's coming and he's trying to get his body ready to take as much punishment as he can. But it scares me a little bit because, like you said, he's already that power back. So how much speed can he afford to lose? How tall is he, Nick?
Is he like Henry is?
He's 6'2", so he is. I mean, that's a decent comparison. Yeah, can Najee be like Derrick Henry? Where, I mean, obviously, I don't know if he's got the skills to be as good as Derrick Henry has been. But can Najee be a Derrick Henry?
And maybe that's the mindset. Maybe he looked at Henry and said, my God, the man's had a historic career, a long career. I mean, even AP back in his prime, how heavy was AP back in his day? AP was a big guy too.
So Henry is 6'3", 247, and Najee is now 6'2", 244. So
pretty close.
Yeah. Could we be seeing a Derrick Henry type season from Najee here? I mean, he's going to get the work, obviously.
Well, obviously, and to Charlie's point, what's going to really be the thing here is to get him into practice, get him into reps, and see how that weight is affecting. We know it's going to be fine punching through the hole. That's fine. But what's it going to do to your top end speed when you get into open field? Mm-hmm. That's where it's going to become a factor. You know what I mean? What's it going to do when you go to try to break someone's ankles and end up tearing your knee because you have 15 pounds than you've been used to carrying around? Where's that wear and tear going to take effect on the joints and everything else as he's trying to bob and weave in and out of tackles? That's my concern, right? The top end speed and the wear and tear on the body as he's trying to do the same moves he did at 225, 230, now at 245, 250. That's where the concern starts to come in.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, too, because Derrick Henry is doing that with a pretty good offensive line, if I remember right, the last couple of years, whereas Najee is going to be with another subpar at best offensive line. So I think the upside is there, but I don't know if it's going to happen because of the offensive line. So, plus, Derrick Henry has been the only weapon, really. I mean, you can say A.J. Brown was there, but
yeah, but then
there's so many weapons in Pittsburgh. There's so many weapons in Pittsburgh right now. It's crazy. So,
and let's just be honest for a hot second. Eddie Lacy gaining weight wasn't the only problem with Eddie Lacy. It was also his work ethic, his mindset, and you know what I mean. Eddie Lacy had other problems going on than just gaining weight.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that the weight he's gaining is muscle and not fat.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. How far does Devonta Adams fall? The tweet is, where does the fantasy final community stand in regards to Devonta Adams? I still call him a wide receiver one, if not the wide receiver one this year. Are you fading him because he's in Vegas? I mean, his targets last 4 years, 169, 127, 149, and 169. Derek Carr really hasn't been able to kids. Derek Carr really hasn't been able to support a number one wide receiver the last couple of years, but he's done it before with Crabtree and Cooper. What do you guys think?
Devonta Adams is too talented to not succeed no matter his situation. And Derek Carr is still a good quarterback. He's obviously no Aaron Rodgers, but he's still a good quarterback who can find his receivers. We saw Hunter Renfrow have a very quality season last year. He actually finished as, a wide receiver one in fantasy. And, I mean, getting Devonta Adams, Devonta freaking Adams. He's one of the best route runners in the NFL. He's also big and physical, can go up and get it. He's got speed to break away after the catch. He can do it all. With Derek Carr, who can throw the deep ball just about as well as anybody. Still very accurate at his age. He can be a wide receiver one, but I don't think he's going to be the wide receiver one. I think there's going to be somebody else that steps up, whether that's, another season from Cooper Kupp, or if Jefferson or Chase steps up, or, somebody. But I don't think it's going to be Devonta Adams as the wide receiver one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You say potato, I say potato. I honestly think that with Adams gone, we're going to see a much different player in Rodgers. And I know, before all you guys lose your minds, well, Lapdone freaking hates
you love him so much.
No matter what he says, Aaron Rodgers is the devil. Well, he is. But I think you're going to see a much different Aaron Rodgers without Devonta Adams. I think Devonta Adams is clearly, like Charlie said, still a wide receiver one. I mean, in every facet of the word, he's a wide receiver one. Do I think he's the number one? No, I don't think he's going to be the guy. But for me, Rodgers and Carr, while their careers have been vastly different due to the talent around them, I think Carr is an incredibly talented quarterback, very, very underrated in a lot of people's mindsets. And I can't wait. I am super excited. I was excited when Antonio Brown went there because I thought that we were going to see him skyrocket with AB there. And then we all know how that went. But I'm very, very excited for Devonta Adams to be there. I think he is still going to be probably a guaranteed top 5, top 3. I think would be probably the cap where I'd end up with him in the end of the season. I don't think he's going to get past that top 3, but I think he's going to be a great season. Carr is going to be incredible. I can't wait for it.
You know, I'm going to be the odd man out here. I think he does have potential to be that wide receiver 1. You've got questions with really all 4 or 5 of the top 5 receivers. I mean, you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins could be taking a lot of his work. You got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen still there. I mean, he's going to take some of his touchdowns. Thielen's always been a touchdown hog for sure. Tyreek Hill now has Jalen Waddle and a lesser quarterback in Tua. I think out of everybody right now, Devonta Adams could have the best situation. I mean, yeah, he's got Darren Waller, but man, Adams has just been so good the last couple of years, and I don't know if the fall from Rodgers to Carr is all that bad. I mean, it's obviously a significant fall, but it's not like crazy fall. I don't think. I think Carr has been the what's the word? I think Carr's problems are he hasn't had somebody to freaking throw to other than Waller. Get this guy some weapons. I think he's got top 10 at least potential. So, but
I mean, the difference too is that Devonta Adams had absolutely nobody to compete with him for targets in Green Bay, whereas in Vegas you do have Darren Waller and you do have Hunter Renfrow, and so that by default I think is just going to even if it's just a little bit cuts into his target share, which I think is going to be enough. Like Nick said, to drop him to more top 5, top 3 territory as opposed to being number 1.
Well, let's not forget about Josh Jacobs down there either. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
We have
and they still have Kenyon Drake too, who likes to get his fair share of catches as well.
Yep.
So
they have a very, very capable running room that can catch the ball out of the backfield, and I think Jacobs is probably better than any running back that he's ever been paired with in straight up comparison. So I don't know. It's going to be up to the OC, the head coach, trying to really game plan and see what they can do with Adams. But as far as saying he's going to be the guy like Michael Thomas 2 years ago, I don't think you're going to see that. I think top 3, top 5 for sure. Top 3 is probably the biggest stretch I'd be willing to give. But yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible season for both him and Carr.
Dynasty, who are you guys taking ahead of him? Chase, Jefferson. Who else? You guys gonna take Hill over him?
No,
I would have Adams over Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely take Adams over Hill for sure. Adams way over. And Tua is just too much. I want to. I really do. Trust me, I do. I want to give the kid as much support as possible. He just.
About CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel.
CeeDee, yes. Deebo, no.
Yeah, I echo that.
Cooper Kupp.
No.
All right.
Before everybody says I'm a homer, no, I'm not even taking Thomas. Like, no.
You'd be crazy, I think, to take Michael Thomas over Devonta Adams, bro. But we'll go and move on here.
This is my question right here, fellas.
There you go, Charlie.
I'm just gonna mute myself and let Charlie take it.
And Daniel Jones be relevant again. Davis Webb came out and said I mean, he's worked with Patrick Mahomes. He's worked with Josh Allen. Davis Webb says Daniel Jones is the hardest working quarterback he's been around. He's probably the smartest he's ever been around. He's got Brian Dable. Dable has helped Josh Allen be the number one quarterback. He's got the weapons. What do you think, Charlie?
It's all fine and good to say all this stuff now, but it doesn't mean squat until we see him play on the field. Yeah. On paper, it's obviously very easy to say the Giants got better. I think they got better, but it's just a matter of how much. They got Evan Neal to plug in at right tackle, which is huge. They got Mark Lewinsky and John Feliciano, the pair in the interior, because the Giants' offensive line was straight up trash last year outside of Andrew Thomas. They added Wan'Dale Robinson, which was a bit interesting, but again, with injuries to that wide receiver core last year, it never hurts to beef up. And they have a lot of weapons. You got Sterling Shepard, you got Kenny Golladay, you got Kadarius Toney, the aforementioned Wan'Dale Robinson, and Daniel Bellinger, who I think is going to be a sneaky tight end play in practice. Because I've been following. He's been working with the first team with all the starters. He didn't have a single drop at San Diego State last year. He's been, incredibly sure-handed, also a good blocker. So all of this pens well for Daniel Jones to be able to stay on his feet, be able to find open receivers. His problem is sometimes his decision-making and his turnovers. Turnovers have always been the issue. He tends to fumble the ball a lot. He tends to make some, multiple decisions when under pressure, just heave it up and it gets intercepted. Throwing it right into a defender's hands, the amount of times I've seen that in the past couple seasons. But again, like you mentioned before, Meanie, with, the fact that he now has Brian Dable and also Mike Kafka, who came over from the Chiefs, who work with Patrick Mahomes, having better coaching helps, because having Joe Judge and Jason Garrett, two extremely conservative, coaches who don't like to run schemes that were beneficial for Daniel Jones. It was just, we want you to get rid of the ball as quick as possible and just do these short little dump-off passes because we don't trust you, which was a far cry from his rookie season where they said, hey, be yourself, do what you want, throw the ball. And he had a good rookie season, which has been his best season so far to date. So having Brian Dable, who, helped turn Josh Allen to a stud, probably, arguably the best quarterback in football, I don't think Daniel Jones is going to have that type of season. But I do think he can climb back into, that's the whole question. He'll be relevant again. The short answer. He'll be better. I mean, it's hard to be any worse than he's been the past few years. One of the worst quarterbacks in football. They haven't helped him. But now they're actually committing to doing things right, which is, again, about damn time. So I think he's going to be relevant. He will be a competent starting quarterback. In terms for fantasy, I could see him finishing in, the top 15 this year if things go well. So again, just hoping for the best, but I do think he's going to be better. I mean, it's by default. The Giants just got so much better, and that's going to help Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I can follow that, but no, I mean, I like the fact that he's got everything, at least appearance-wise, to help him succeed. They've gone out and did everything that they really need to do to give him the opportunity and the tools to prove he's the guy. And if this season it comes out he's not the guy, he's got nobody to blame but himself. That's pretty much all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, he's got to fix that TD to interception ratio, like we were talking about. It's a 1.5 to 1. So, I mean, he's pretty much throwing an interception every single time he throws a touchdown. So that's not gonna cut it. He's got the weapons now. I mean, it's not gonna get much better than this. I mean, you got very good running back. 5 good receivers now, 2 good tight ends. So I'm hoping Dable can turn him around because I'd like to see Jones be relevant. I mean, I think that he's been one of the quarterbacks that have taken the most heat in the NFL since he's came in 2019. But if he doesn't do it with Brian Dable this year with all these weapons, he's not going to be there. Real quick, would you take Daniel Jones or Matt Ryan?
Ryan, before he even answers, Ryan, give me Ryan. I'll take Ryan.
Yeah, I'll take Ryan as well. I mean, the Colts know what they're doing. The Giants don't always know what they're doing, even though things are trending in the right direction. So,
Doing this whole would you rather, I just thought of something. So we were talking about Devonta Adams, Stephon Diggs, Devonta Adams.
I'm going Adams.
I'm taking Diggs. Actually, I'm going to be different. I'm taking Diggs.
Me too.
Hey, Nick, we're on the same page. I love it.
I can't. Adams has just been too good. I mean, he's just been too good. So, Daniel Jones or Jared Goff?
Jones.
Daniel Jones or Tua?
Jones. That's closer, though.
Yeah, that is close.
Daniel Jones or Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, God.
Lawrence.
Okay.
Wait, we just agree 3 times in a row, Charlie?
I'm not going to get used to it, but it's nice.
Are we becoming
Daniel Jones or Jameis, Nick?
What?
Daniel Jones or Jameis?
Jameis.
Homer.
Jones.
Who are you taking, Charlie?
Jones.
All right.
And the streak's over.
I knew I'd break it from that one. So
Yeah, that's your fault, Manny. That's your fault.
I had to
We
throw
already
that
had a
one
good
out.
thing going.
We've been set up.
All right. There's the end of the tweets. Let's go and move on to the 3 trades here.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
The favorite part of the show here. The first one here.
That one.
Looks like Superflex, tight end premium, half-point PPR. His other quarterbacks are Herbert and Wentz. He's teaming up Lamb with Chase. CeeDee Lamb, Kenny Pickett, and a 2023 first, or Joe Burrow.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that one's
That's
nice.
I was hoping to be one of these. This is a good one.
I did better this week.
Yeah, you did good, kid.
You did good, kid.
You did good. It's close, but oh boy. What'd you say his other quarterbacks were? The one who traded away Burrow?
Herbert and Wentz.
Okay, yeah. And it's a
But
Superflex?
It's Superflex.
So that does leave him a little thin, but he's improving his depth elsewhere, and he's bringing in Pickett. Lamb 2023 first is always nice. So I always like to, fill out the rest of my roster and bring a little more balance to it. So getting a really good wide receiver in Lamb, getting a quarterback in Pickett who's going to start sooner rather than later. Obviously, you still have Wentz in the meantime to fill in that second quarterback spot. And then a 2023 first rounder and what's going to be a deep class, no matter where that pick ends up falling on a spectrum. So by a very slim margin, I'm going to take the Lamb Pickett side.
Yeah, we're going to restart the streak here because I agree 100%. Joe Burrow is an amazing player, and it sucks to lose him. But, I mean, you can limp along with Wentz in the meantime or some combination of Wentz and Pickett because you're obviously starting Herbert. And then you take Lamb with Chase, great pairing, just an amazing pairing. Then you go ahead and turn that first rounder into whatever the hell you end up finding you need at the end of this season. Like, I don't know. I love every bit of that.
I'm gonna be the one that disagrees again. So, Superflex, you have a chance at having might be 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league in Herbert and Burrow. Sorry. You have CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb's top finish since he came into the league. He finished 14th, and where is he? 20th. So far, he's only been a number 2 wide receiver. I know we're all drafting him.
No more Cooper. No more Cedric Wilson. It's just him and Gallup. That's going to do wonders with Dak Prescott throwing the football. This is CeeDee Lamb season. I'm calling it right now. He's going to finish with the top 10 fantasy wide receiver. You heard it here first.
Is it though? Because yes, you got CeeDee Lamb. You have Michael Gallup. You have James Washington, who is decent. You have Jalen Tolbert, who they just drafted in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
You have Dalton Schultz. You still have Zeke and Pollard.
Let's be honest.
CeeDee Lamb is the best weapon out of all of them.
I agree, but CeeDee Lamb's been the best weapon, even with Amari Cooper there, and he hasn't been able to do anything.
But again, you run into the problem of too many mouths to feed.
How big of a difference is there between Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper?
Pretty big.
Is it
There's a sizable gap.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
I don't know. At this point in his career, Amari Cooper is 27.
The situation's not the same. Like James Washington, Jalen Tolbert. I mean, these are not guys that are going to seriously threaten CeeDee Lamb for targets in that Dallas Cowboys offense. We don't know what Jalen Tolbert's going to do yet. He's a rookie. James Washington's never had the ability to step up as like the fourth receiver in Pittsburgh. So I don't think that third receiver maybe. But still, I don't think he's going to, these are not guys that are going to do anything and, mess up things for CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's going to have a great season. I'm calling it. It's my take. It's my prediction. I'll even put money on it.
100% agree. 100% agree. It's CeeDee Lamb's team to lose at this point. I mean, realistically, you can throw out any amount of names you want to. For God's sakes, they're all going to be playing for Houston by the end of next season. I don't want to hear it.
Okay. I'm still going to go Joe Burrow. For the sheer fact,
you always had to be different.
For the sheer fact, like I said, you have Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert as your quarterbacks in Superflex. You're set at Superflex forever if you want.
Yeah, but then oh my God!
How many CeeDee Lambs are there in a draft every year? You can go out and get a CeeDee Lamb next year in the 2023 first round.
Yeah, but you could do the same thing. You could then dish CeeDee Lamb if he has a crap season, still get some capital back, then have Kenny Pickett emerge. Cool. Then you can go and draft one with the wide receiver, and you still have your other pick. Boy, don't argue with me on this.
But we were talking about before the draft. We were talking about how this year's quarterback class is so bad. So bad. There's nobody in this class that is going to put up any kind of numbers.
But this is the one guy that can and has the most potential to do so. He was the only first-round quarterback.
You're saying pre-draft he's not that guy. So does
he's
the situation
in the
really...
best situation? We don't know he's going to pan out, but he has the best chance to. Where they only have Mitchell Trubisky signed. Kenny Pickett's got first-round capital behind him. Wonderful. He's got small hands, whatever. We don't know what he's going to do in the NFL. He's got the chance to. And you got Carson Wentz to hold down the fort in the meantime. If the pick doesn't work out, wonderful. You pivot. We also don't know the other extenuating circumstances of this guy's team. Who else does he have a wide receiver? What other draft picks does he have? We don't know. So on paper, from what we've seen so far, I'm still taking the Lamb and Pickett side.
Yep, me too.
All right, so you're going to take...
Oh my God, Father, your children have turned against you. Just deal with
it. Say you trade Joe Burrow, okay?
Oh God.
You're probably going to replenish him with that 2023 first, I would say, is probably going to be a quarterback next year. Okay. So you're telling me you'd rather trade Joe Burrow, who has put up top 5 numbers and he's going to continue with the team that he has. And you would rather have CeeDee Lamb and say Bryce Young or CJ Stroud next year with this pick.
I'm not going to say no to that. I mean,
because you didn't have to replace Burrow.
Negatives here,
unless Pickett comes out and is just dominant.
You're putting together a lot of what ifs. That's all I'm going to say. These are a lot of different scenarios that don't necessarily have a high chance of happening. We can't predict what that 2023 first is going to be because
Kenny Pickett
could have a great season this year.
But he could be a complete bust.
And so could Joe Burrow.
Be a quarterback. That could be a wide receiver.
The chances of Joe Burrow busting is way lower than
nobody's saying Joe Burrow's going to bust. We're talking about Kenny Pickett booming.
I am. What happens? Joe Burrow goes out there and blows the knee. I mean, for God's sakes, if you're going to throw all these final destination what ifs at us, I could do the same dang thing. He's only done it once. What says he doesn't do it again?
It's what happens? It's easier. No, it's easier. That's what I'm saying. What if CeeDee Lamb goes out and busts a knee?
What if any of them busts the knee? What if Ukraine collapses and Russia invades and nobody gets to play football, meanie?
It's easier to replace a wide receiver than it is to replace a running back or a quarterback. Am I right?
I don't know. Ask the Broncos. They replace one every year.
And look how long it's been, and now we finally have a quarterback. Finally, it took us 6 years to replace Peyton Manning.
Didn't you guys have a chance to draft Josh Allen?
Yes, we did.
And said he wasn't going to be anything.
Let's not bring up bad memories. Moving on. All
Yeah,
right,
might be time to go to the next trade.
You guys take Lamb, Pickett, and the first I take Burrow. Moving on. 32 team IDP. That's all the
Dear God.
I have.
What is that? Is that just it's just a straight swap.
Yeah, who do you guys got? Denver backfield or Chargers backfield?
Denver.
Is this I'm taking Denver.
Yep, Denver.
Yeah.
So you're saying Austin Eckler or Javonte Williams is going to be better than Austin Eckler.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also remember, this is Dynasty. We're talking the age thing here too. Javonte Williams is 21. Austin Eckler is going to be his age 27 season. That's where you're starting to, again, we don't know, but that does tend to be towards that age where the shelf life of running backs can expire.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
It's just, again, I'm not looking at the backups here because that's kind of just, it's whatever. You got the handcuffs.
Yep.
It's kind of irrelevant.
Yep.
So you're basically straight up comparing Javonte Williams to Austin Eckler in that case. Dynasty, young guy. I have him in a lot of my leagues already. I love this man, Javonte Williams.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm taking Williams because to your point earlier, Meanie, you said that Eckler had the second most targets inside the 20, and we all know that running backs take the most punishment inside the 20. So to Charlie's point, he's getting older. He's clearly taken some shots and taken some punishment. Give me Williams all day long, especially now that you got Russ in there. Like, no, I'm good.
Did we all just agree? Did that just happen?
We did just agree on this one.
Wow. All right. Okay. That's it. An unexpected twist.
All right. Last one. This is the one that I was like, oh my God.
Oh boy.
12 team Superflex tight end premium.
Oh my God.
Watson, Javonte Williams, AJ Dillon, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, 2023 first, 2 of those, and a 2023 second for Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, and Michael Pittman.
Meanie, I know you're not doing this to me right now. Like,
you're getting the top 2 players in Dynasty in Jonathan Taylor and Josh Allen.
But bro, you're trying to purposely raise my blood pressure. Like you want me to yell at the computer.
This is the one that I was like, all right, this could raise some flags here.
This could break Lapthorn. Yeah, you're gonna break me with this. Like, oh my Christ,
Who you got?
The whole freaking kitchen sink at him.
Who you got?
Jesus Christ, give me the massive collection of assets on the left side. Sweet Jesus. I mean, you're not taking that much of a downgrade at the running back and QB positions because Deshaun Watson, when he's on the field, is a top 10 QB. Javonte Williams, Dynasty, top 5 without question. You're getting 2 receivers better than Michael Pittman in CeeDee Lamb and DJ Moore. AJ Dillon's no slouch either. We don't know what he's going to do in Green Bay. And you get 2 first and a second. Are you fucking kidding me? Give me that. Pardon my language, but are you serious? Look at that. That's a no-brainer.
I agree.
Why?
Jesus.
There always has to be one.
I told you. I threw one in that I was going to get you guys going.
Yeah.
I knew this one would.
I've been chasing a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow my entire freaking life, and it's that left side of this trade. Like,
they might as well have just given up the entire team. Just say, here's the whole team. Just give me these 3 players.
Yeah, I'm rebuilding.
Why can't I make a trade with somebody like that? That's my dream. Give me your whole team for 2 guys, please.
Yeah.
Again, I said this the last time or maybe the time before, but we have a term for this, at least in my league, and it's a trade, and there's a second word there that I can't say on live here, but this is exactly what this is. Somebody's getting taken advantage of here. It's just ridiculous. Either that or they're just dumb. There's no other way to say it.
I agree. I am trying to find that trade that you guys that we sent out to where I got offered that trade, and that's like, why can't I get offered these kind of trades? So I'm getting offered. I'm getting offered trades like Joe Burrow, Devin Duvernay, and Mike Davis for Matthew Stafford, Najee Harris, Mike Evans, and Darnell Mooney.
Jeez.
Like, where are these people on this? They're doing this here. Send me one of those trades.
Yeah, don't lowball me, highball me, please. Yeah. Highball.
This is an instant smash if you get sent like this.
Yes, please.
I don't care if you're competing or not. This is instant smash.
Yeah, can we join this league, please?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm confused on why he put in the fact that it's a tight end premium. There was no tight ends on this.
Well, I guess the draft picks maybe could be used on a tight end, but that's the only connection I would see. That's kind of irrelevant.
But are you taking a tight end that's not named Kyle Pitts with either of those first or second round picks?
No. Maybe a second. I mean,
I guess depending on where it is.
If it's a late second, you might take a chance. But
well, yeah, you will draft a tight end because you just got every other position covered.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at what's his name?
I mean, you could literally take a team that has nobody, make this trade, and you're set.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, Deshaun Watson is not that big of a fall from Allen. Williams and Dillon are better than Jonathan Taylor, I think, with the package. CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore is better than Michael Pittman. So, I mean, you're getting 2 firsts in a very good 2023 class next year. So, like I said, this one I knew would get you guys going, so that's why I did it. So
yeah. Have fun not having a team after trading everyone away.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what that roster construction is going to look like. It's literally just going to be Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, and a whole lot of nothing.
He had to have been just completely stacked to be able to do that. Because it's got to be his only 3 good players left.
I would love to know what the rest of that team looks like after that trade.
Yeah.
I agree. 100%.
Yep. So, all right. That should do it for us here. Make sure you guys continue to tune into the other podcast, the Fantasy Coaches. They're putting up a lot of good content. And then you have our staff article still on thefantasycoaches.com. We're putting together staff articles. I think this week is can't remember what the staff article is going to be this week. But make sure you guys tune in and read that because there's a lot of good stuff going around. But that should be it, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week.
Have a good day, everybody.
Take care, everyone.